My name is Brian Reel, and I'm the co-founder of ProcessMaker. We make business process management and workflow software. So we've actually been around for a couple of years. We've been around since 2008, building and developing workflow software. We've got more than 100 employees today and more than 350 enterprise clients. And since we started the company, our open source application has been downloaded more than 1 million times. What is new is our presence here in the Triangle. So we made a decision about 12 months ago to move our headquarters to the Triangle. We've historically been a remote workforce. We rely a lot on our overseas offices. And so we've decided to set up shop here and begin hiring and grow our core team here. We're very excited to do so. So you can see some of the customers we're working with today. The typical application that our customers are using ProcessMaker for is as a BPM suite. So they're automating their approval workflows. So what does that mean? That means things like leave requests, change requests, purchase requests, basically anything that involves some form of custom routing and an approval. They'll tend to do this with hundreds, thousands, ideally tens of thousands of employees, and they'll run hundreds of thousands or millions of cases on our platform a year. But now I'm going to switch gears a little bit and tell you about an exciting new product that we've just launched. This is in alpha now. It's the first new product we've launched since launching ProcessMaker. And it may sound similar, but it's actually quite different. It's ProcessMaker IO. So ProcessMaker IO is a workflow microservices API. So ProcessMaker, our BPM suite, our workflow software, we sell to mid-size enterprises and large enterprises. We sell to the CIO and to the systems director. But our microservices API is designed for product managers and CTOs. So I'm hoping a lot of you are in the audience, or a lot of the investors that invest in companies that make B2B enterprise software are in the audience and are thinking how to reduce costs, how to accelerate their product roadmap, and how to increase functionality that can deliver revenue. So we want you to think about this product like you would think about Twilio if you want to add telephony to your application, or you might think about Stripe if you want to add payment processing. You wouldn't go build those things today. You would go take an API like those I've mentioned, and you would incorporate it into your product. We believe we have the best built, easiest to use, simplest workflow microservice on the market today, and it's ideal for embedding into any type of enterprise B2B application. So to understand how we got to this market, let me take a step back and talk about where BPM is positioned. So BPM typically is that sort of white space in between other enterprise applications in the enterprise architecture landscape of applications. So we think about a way to move data between the ERP, the CRM, the document management system, and BPM is a way to facilitate that movement and to allow for custom configurations and custom approvals of the flow of information. But one of the things we noticed over the years of building and selling workflow applications is that a lot of the time, instead of really existing in the middle space, really BPM is making up for a deficiency in another enterprise application, meaning poor workflow in the CRM, poor workflow in the ERP, or poor workflow in the document management system. So we got a call a few years back from a company called Sugar CRM that many of you might have heard of. This is a top-tier CRM provider. And they said, hey, we have workflow in our software, but we don't think it's very good. We want to rebuild it. Can you help us? So we did, and a couple of years later, they launched a new part of their product called Advanced. Well, at first they called it Process Author. Now they call it Advanced Workflow. And it literally delivered millions of dollars in additional top-line revenue for Sugar. After doing that for Sugar, we went on to do it for a few other companies, a few companies in the ERP space, namely a company called Ellucian. This is a multi-billion-dollar private equity-owned ERP, and another company called P2. And they came to us with the same challenge. They said, we have workflow. In their cases, they had multiple products, and they said, we have workflow in all of our products. But the workflow, it's not very good. They're simple triggers. Maybe they're hard-coded. Can you help us? And so we did this. We did this over a period of a couple of years. And then we thought, hey, there's a real need. There's a real need in the enterprise application space for better workflow that can be more easily embedded in today's modern cloud architected application. So that's when we went and built ProcessMaker IO as a microservice, something that's easy to embed in your application today. So for us, it's an interesting market. It's a big market. It will be a $287 billion market by 2024. And I'm talking about the market for enterprise applications, people that are selling enterprise applications. Half of that market is what we would call CRM or ERP applications, or things that look like CRM and ERP. We believe pretty much any B2B application today needs workflow. Usually it comes in the form of the first large client who asks for something that's not built into the product. And so the software company has to run around and think about how to hard code it into their product. And we believe they would no longer have to do that, but rather could use the simple workflow microservice that we've produced. So if you're investing in B2B software companies, or if you're running one, we'd love to talk to you about how you could use our API. It is now available. It's a microservice. We believe it's very simple to embed into your application, and we'd love to talk to anybody who's interested. Thank you.